Let's talk about rubrics for the PS1. So this is the speaking assessment. Why does this matter? We'll break it down. And then what do you do after you get that information? So why does it matter? Well, because we focus on a growth mindset. We want you to keep improving. The first test that you take is not going to be the easiest, but you will get to learn and improve each time you take the test. You'll know more information, which means you'll be able to score higher each time. The other thing is we want to give you specific feedback because then you know what you need to focus on or what you need to study to improve your score the next time. So let's break it down. On the test, you can score 0 to a 1.5, and that's failing. That is not passing because you need to get a C to pass. However, if you're getting a 2.0, then that is considered passing. That's a C. A 3.0 or higher is passing and slaying because not only are you meeting the requirements of the 2.0, but also you're elaborating, you're adding more detailing. All right, so let's talk about the 4 different sections here. The first section is focusing on answering questions. The second part is focusing on asking questions. And then the third part is focusing on, could you be understood? Is the grammar okay? Are you using the vocab? And then the last thing is actually just in the 4.0 section, and that's including cultural references or moral focus. So we'll go into that. For the first assessment, you want to focus on getting a 2.0. So that's, can you answer most or almost all of the questions that are being asked? For example, if you are asked 4 questions, can you answer at least 3 of them? That would be a 2.0. If you are not able to answer 3 out of 4 questions, then chances are you're going to score a 1.5 or lower. If you are able to answer all of those questions and you include intermediate level elaboration and opinion, then you are looking at a 3.0. So if you're also able to say, yes, I like cheese and I also like it on sandwiches, that would be elaboration and your opinion about something, right? So that elaboration is what scores higher. A 4.0 would be looking at answering all the questions and also telling me why or because every single time you answer the question. This is also incorporating vocabulary that we have not learned in class and that you went out of your way to look up. The next part here is section 2. Asking questions. So if you're able to create 2 questions about the unit that we are in, then that would be a 2.0 level. If you are not able to create 2 questions from what we are learning about that unit, then unfortunately that is a 1.5 or lower for this section. If you are asking 3 questions or more about this unit, then that means you're landing more in the 3.0 section there. If you are asking complicated questions and not just saying "y tú," then that would count as a question, okay? If you are asking questions or follow-up questions every single time they answer something and asking for elaboration, then you're landing more in the 4.0 section. You're increasing the complexity of questions as well, and that's what pushes you up. The next section is, can you be understood? For the 2.0 section, you have to make sure that you're answering 70% of the questions using correct grammar, syntax, and usage. If you are not answering with complete sentences, then unfortunately, that is not a 2.0. If you are able to use the basic vocabulary that we learned this unit, if you're able to use it appropriately, then you would get a check. If you're having issues with how to pronounce things, then that's going to be an issue in comprehension, okay? We won't be able to understand what you're saying. So you need to make sure you keep practicing those words, say them out loud, and this is why we practice vocab so often. The last one here is has multiple register and level of formality errors. This means that you are using the correct conjugation for the conversation that you are having. There will be some where you are pretending to speak to someone you don't know or a close friend. So depending on who you're talking to, you should be addressing them formal or informal. To get over to 3.0 is that you're using 85% of questions are using the correct grammar and syntax. And if all your grammar, syntax, and usage is 100% correct, then you're landing in the 4.0 section. This one is more of the easier one to get, just because if you are practicing the grammar that we've been learning in class and you've been doing really great, and then this section should be pretty easy. Okay, the next section is the 4th, really only appears in the 4.0, which is the culture and the moral focus. This is a 4.0 because if you're able to include cultural knowledge from a Spanish-speaking country, this is where you get those points. If you include moral focus instead of a cultural reference, that will also land you in the 4.0. It's that higher level conversations and complexities. And that's the 4.0. Let's look at an example in English.
Hey, what's your name?
I'm Elizabeth. What's your name?
My name's Emily.
Oh, that's cool. How are you?
I'm bored.
Why?
I don't like school. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm actually really excited about school.
Oh, wow. How old are you?
I'm 15. How about you?
I'm also 15.
Oh, wow. Where are you from?
I'm from Michigan. How about you?
Me too.
Wow. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Bye.
Bye.
So what score should they get? Now that you've seen the video, think about these things. How many questions did each person ask? How many answers did they provide? Were they complete sentences or one-worded answers? Was there any elaboration or an explanation of any sort? If so, that could push them up to a 3.0. Did they include cultural information or anything about moral focus? You can always go back to this time in the video to hear the conversation once again. So now that you've thought about those things, check off what they completed. Start off with the 2.0 section first, and then move on to the 3.0 section. If they check off everything in the 3.0 section, then move on over to the 4.0 section. So what can we do once we get that feedback? Well, it's actually pretty easy. The first thing that you can do is study that vocab. The other thing is take advantage of any comprehension activities that are provided. We give you listening activities as much as possible so that you can get a chance to practice using this language, but also hearing the language. Because the more you hear it, the more your brain starts to store how to pronounce those words and the sounds of the Spanish language. The last thing is to create conversations with the phrases that we give you in class, especially if you start practicing them with some friends or practicing with siblings or with family, with someone around you who is willing to go through and read the conversations with you. It's always great to keep practicing and actually using that language. All right, if you have any questions, let me know, and I will be more than happy to answer. Have a great day. Hasta luego, chicos.